This is the audio for a post on the Movements in America Substack. Check out the website at movementsinamerica.substack.com. Link is in the description. The one key to move from adding to multiplying disciples. Leadership development. That is the one thing you need to do to move from addition to multiplication. End post. Shortest post ever. Okay, you might want more elaboration, so keep reading if you want me to explain this further. I didn't get this. At first. Years ago, Jeff S. told me that getting to multiplication was a question of leadership development, and I had no idea what he was talking about. God used Jeff and his team to catalyze a movement in South Asia, so I knew that he knew what he was talking about. I'm just kind of a slow learner when it comes to movement stuff, so it took me years to understand what he was saying. Here's what God taught me. Leading a few people to Christ is addition. Discipling them is addition. Starting a church with those people is addition. All these activities are essential for starting a church planting movement, but will only get you to addition. Training someone to gospel share, training someone to disciple, and training someone to start a church will get to multiplication. At least theoretically. This is actually where I got stuck. I was training people to do all of this stuff and assumed I would get multiplication, but I didn't. What I actually got was confusion, frustration, and self-doubt. Getting unstuck. Praise the Lord that He speaks through prayer, the Word, and His people, so I could get unstuck. What I learned is that leadership development starts with finding the right person who God has prepared to become a leader. It's good to see the potential in everyone, but it's taken me a long time to learn to recognize when someone is or is not going to be a multiplier. I think this is the heart of 2 Timothy 2:2, and what you have heard from me in the presence of many witnesses entrust to faithful men who will be able to teach others also. Paul found Timothy as a leader in a group of many witnesses, and he is instructing Timothy to do the same and train the faithful people to do the same. The core of the verse is an instruction to hone in on the leaders in the midst of a group of disciples. Staying focused. If you want to see multiplication, you must be thinking about leadership development from the first prayer, the first gospel share, the first salvation, the first church start. There is a lot more I could say on this topic, but in light of trying to stay focused, I'm going to end this post here. Just remember, the only way to multiplication is leadership development. Comment on my post if you want me to elaborate more on how to identify or develop leaders. Thanks for listening. Be sure to pick up my book Movements in America on Amazon and Audible if you want to learn more about how God is multiplying disciples and churches around the United States. The link is in the description. Subscribe to this podcast and my Substack to stay up to date with my latest posts. One of the best ways to support this work is by leaving a 5-star review of this podcast. Thank you for the help.